Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming my June TBR. I'm doing this in a bit more of an exciting way as I'm actually getting my Instagram followers to choose what my TBR is going to be for June. So what I've done is put 2 books up on my Instagram story with a poll, and I've covered up the books and just put 2 corresponding emojis on each of them and asked you guys to pick between them, and whichever one gets more votes is the one I'm going to add to my June TBR. I don't know who the first person was to do this, but I got this idea from Sarah Crowley. The first poll that I did was a woman and a rose, and we have a bear and a town. So the woman and the rose is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but this one is added to my TBR. Basically bought it after I saw that it's one of Taylor Swift's favourite books. I'm not really sure what it's about. I have watched the film but I can't remember, but it's a modern classic. I think it's like a bit eerie and it's one of Taylor Swift's favourite books, so I was just kind of intrigued. And then obviously the bear and the town was quite obvious. Bear Town. I think this book is a literary fiction, so I've kind of tried to pair up the books as best as I can based on what's on my TBR. I thought like a classic and literary fiction go together better than like a classic and a fantasy. But yeah, I think Bear Town is a literary fiction, follows this really close-knit town and they're really big on hockey, and then I think a tragedy happens that would threaten the tranquility of the town because it threatens the reputation of like their hockey team or something, and the town are divided because half the town want to come out and do the right thing and have justice even though it won't be good for the town's future, and then the other half want to like hide it. Oh, Rebecca won by 61%, 39%. I find that quite shocking because I thought that because Bear Town, it was quite obvious what this book was by the emojis. I thought more people would go for this one, but we've gone for this one. I'm very excited to read this book. I'm a little bit nervous because sometimes I don't really love classics, but it's more of a modern classic and it's one of Taylor Swift's favourite books. The next books are 2 fantasies. We have a book and a fairy, and then we have an apple and a broken heart. The book and the fairy is Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. This book is like a cozy fantasy that follows Emily Wilde, and I think it's like an academic sort of vibe where she's trying to research fairies, and it's just a very cozy, low stakes fantasy. I've never read a cozy fantasy, I don't think, so I'm a bit nervous. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. I'm excited to read this one if it wins. And then for the apple and the broken heart, that was Once Upon a Broken Heart, because I've read Caraval. I know that Jax has his apple, and obviously Broken Heart. This one is by Stephanie Garber, and the Caraval series is by Stephanie Garber. You see Jax, who is the main guy in this one, in that series, but this series follows him and Evangeline. That is literally all I know about this book. I don't know anything else. I like to go into books quite blind. I don't even hardly ever read the blurb. I know that Jax is a bit of an untrustworthy guy. You see that in Caraval. He's not the nicest guys, so I'm kind of excited to see where the story takes him as a character. See which one won. Once Upon a Broken Heart won. I thought that would be the case because I think the emojis are more obvious and I think this book is more popular than this one, so I'm really excited to give that one go. And I've also had this on my TBR for so long. I just haven't started it because I've been reading Sarah J Maas, which is why I've never done a TBR video before, because my TBR every month this year has basically just been ACTA, Throne of Glass. But I'm now on Kingdom of Ash, so I'm just finishing Throne of Glass. However, obviously Crescent City is next, but I'm waiting for my friend to start Crescent City because we're both going to read it at the same time. I think we're both quite nervous to start it. We'll see. But speaking of Crescent City, the next post that I put up was a crescent and a city and a woman dancing and a dagger. So these 2 books, first of all, the Crescent and the City, the first book in the Crescent City series. If I do get this one, I'll probably only make it to 1 or 2 of these other books because she's thick and she'll probably take me a couple weeks to read. Also, if I get this one and my friend doesn't want to read it, then I can't read it. I've got to wait for her. But I thought I'd put it on there anyway and just see what you guys chose. So again, I have absolutely no clue what the Crescent City series is about, but I think Crescent City is an urban fantasy, so they like have technology and everything, which I've never read before. I'm quite intrigued for that. We've got an urban fantasy and a cozy fantasy, but the cozy fantasy wasn't chosen, but I might still read it. Yeah, we've got a few different types of fantasy going on. We also have for the lady dancing and the dagger is Dance of Thieves. Obviously this is called Dance of Thieves and it's got a dagger on the front. Do I have a clue what this is about? No. I feel like maybe I should know for these videos. I should figure out what this is about so I can tell you guys, but I love going into books blind and just not knowing what's happening. I genuinely do not even understand the words on the back, so this is going to be like a fun book to try read if I don't even understand the book. Outlaw leader Jace meets reformed thief Kazi. I don't know if I'm pronouncing those names right. A cat and mouse game of false moves ensues, bringing them intimately together in a battle that may cost them their lives and their hearts. I have no clue what this book is about still. I've heard a lot of great reviews. I have both Dance Thieves and Battle Thieves. I basically just bought them. I just saw them online and I was like, these covers are so pretty. The spines as well look so nice next to each other. Fuse is down there at the moment so I can't get it out, but these books are really beautiful, and so that is basically why I bought it, and so I don't really know the plot. But I've heard a lot of great reviews about this. I've also heard a few bad reviews, but I think it was like more popular back in the day, like when I was first on looking through BookTok and Bookstagram and BookTube and stuff, and I've had it online on my TBR ever since. I can't hold this one up. Let's see which one. Oh my god, there we go. Let's see which one won. Crescent City by 76%. I kind of guessed that. It was very, very, very obvious emojis, and I think I do have a lot of Sarah J Maas fans on Bookstagram. I'm scared. I'm scared because I've heard very mixed, mostly bad things about the Crescent City series, and I'm quite scared. Is it like, look how long that is, and to like not be sure if I'm gonna like it is very scary. But yeah, I'm gonna wait to see if my friend starts it. If she does start it, then I will read this month. But if she doesn't, then I will have to put it over to the next month, sorry. Finally, the final two books that I posted, hungry emoji and a games emoji. You can guess what that is going to be. And I also put a music notes emoji and a fox emoji. Hungry games emojis is obviously the Hunger Games. This is the second one because I've already read the first Hunger Games and I actually did really enjoy it. They're really easy to get through. So if this one gets picked, that's quite good to go with Crescent City because at least this one will be quick. There's very like big writing in it and it's just very simple. It's written in a very, very YA way. So they're very easy to read. This one is The Hunger Games Catching Fire. I'd quite like to read this one. Breaks up the more hard to read fantasies. Or we have The Music and the Fox was The Ballad of Never After. Obviously it's a ballad and I've just seen people put the fox emoji with it and there's also foxes up here. I just kind of guessed with that emoji. Ballad of Never After is the second one in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, so obviously this does depend on the fact that if I read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, but we did luckily get the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, so if we didn't get it, that would be a bit of a problem to put this on my TBR and not the other one. But we did get that, so we might get to this one. I'm not sure though. I just love these covers. I think that they're so stunning. Follows the same characters, and I, again, don't really know the plot. But let's see which one won. Ooh, 83% for this book, 17% for this one. We're not getting a nice easy read this month. Very well might get 2 books in Once Upon a Broken Heart series this month, considering this has been on my TBR since I think last year. Probably a good thing. So to recap my TBR for this month, we have Rebecca, we have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber, and we have Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, and then we also have the first book in the Crescent City series, House of Earth and Blood. Reading this book is going to take me a couple weeks, so whether I'm going to be able to read 3 of these as well, I don't know. We shall see, and I will update you guys in my wrap up. I usually do a wrap up every other month, but I will be putting one up at the end of June because I haven't done one for May. If you want to see which ones from this TBR I read, then subscribe, turn on the notifications, and you'll be notified at the end of June when I post my May and June wrap up and we can see which books from this TBR I actually read and see what I thought about them. Thank you so much to everyone on my Instagram who helped me pick my TBR. It's really fun. If you want to see this video again next month, or in a couple months time, please let me know. Give this video a thumbs up, comment down below some of the books you're reading in June, follow my social medias at _libraryofeden on both TikTok and Instagram, and I will see you in my next video very, very soon. Bye!